Hey everyone, welcome to Realtor on the Roof, and thank you for joining us. I am Stephen J.B. Davis, your realtor and land specialist here in Central Kentucky and Southeastern Kentucky. This is the show where we get to know home professionals as pros and as people. And what better way to start a show called Realtor on the Roof than with an actual roofer? This is my friend John King. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just happy you're here, especially on such a hot day, because I know that you're up here a lot checking on things with your guys, but to just sit in the sun for fun, I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thanks for
that a
having me,
lot.
Steven. I appreciate it.
We met in the most unlikely. I'll let you tell the story because I actually think this is a cool story, and I think that you do too. I will start by saying I saw John's truck and took a picture and called him. This was after we moved into this house, my husband and I needed someone to come and look at our roof. And then
I showed up, of course, and we come up here to take a look at his roof and look at some of the problems. And I think you had an inspector's report that we just needed to go through and just make sure everything was okay and we were fixing anything that needed to be fixed.
Pretty much.
So there's a couple things. I just took care of them.
Which was awesome. I mean, he does not work for free, but he was like, this is small fry stuff. Like, it was not a big deal. And
small stuff. Had everything on my truck that I needed for it. So basically I just thought Steven was a great guy and said, you know what, just keep me in mind for future work and business and those kind of things. And then ended up having to come back and do another issue had come up.
Yeah, another issue had come up because of Hurricane Florence. So I moved into this house right when Kentucky had the most rain in record history of the state of, or recorded history in the state of Kentucky. So there was a leak that I was not aware of. I was like, John, like, what do I do? I took some videos. Like, is this a big problem? Is this a little problem? And he says, well, why don't we fix it together? And I was like, I mean, I'm cool with that, but like, do you really want to like show me the secrets to your trade or whatever? He's like, no, it's probably a small fix, and even if it's a little bit more labor, then we'll do it together, and then you can kind of handle that. But when you get a new roof, you know who to call. And I said, deal. And you helped me fix it. I learned a lot about a lot.
Yeah. Well, we learned a lot about each other too, and kind of became friends out of that whole thing. Which I find an amazing part of my job, getting to work with people. Right?
Yeah.
You get to meet some interesting people, and you find you have some things in common, and then you become friends, which is a great thing, and that's why we're here today.
Yes, and we get to see each other out, and we have beers, which is not what we're drinking, but we are human, and we do like beer and bourbon sometimes. And
OSHA wouldn't be very happy with us if we were.
No,
but,
no, they would not be happy.
We'll just avoid that with the Coke Zero.
So when you're not roofing, I ask everyone this because while I'm not a professional musician anymore, I'm always interested in people's interaction with music. And as we got to know on one of our interactions on top of my roof, you're huge into music. So like, what's the last thing you listen to, number one, and then number two, what is your favorite kind of music to let everybody know? And then number three, do you listen to music on the job?
Oh yes, I listen to music all the time. First, I'll answer that part first. It's playing in my house, in my car, if I'm walking, I've got headphones. It's playing all the time. Anytime I'm by myself, for sure. That is music is what I love. It's my passion. It's what I live to do in my free time. I just came back from a trip outside Seattle at the Gorge. There was a music festival out there. And
who was playing? Is it Above and Beyond?
It's Above and Beyond and their label. So a lot of artists from their label. It's Juna Beats. So it's electronic. They're trance. So that answers that question. Is my favorite kind of music is trance.
Check out some trance. I love EDM. EDM is the more umbrella term for what we're talking about, but trance is a lot older than the term EDM.
Yeah. I think EDM used to just be trance.
Yeah.
Trance and techno was really
that
all
was
you
it.
had.
Yeah, like the Daft Punks of the world, and for sure.
And then everything else has grown from that. But,
seriously.
But that is my favorite music. But the last thing I listened to was actually on the way here. I listened to Seven Lines, who is.
I don't think you've told me about them yet.
He's like a melodic dubstep guy. Yeah, it's his moniker. It's his DJ moniker. So he makes a lot of melodic dubstep. He's into trance as well. So he kind of does a lot of this blending thing that I like a whole lot. But check him out. 7 Lines. It's awesome.
And check out Above and Beyond too. Like,
for sure.
You just put me onto them like 3 days ago, and I was really into it until I had to be on the phone and like talking to some clients. Like I was doing some work, and I was really into it. It was great. It was great.
It was fantastic.
I should have been dancing.
I'll send you some more for sure.
Please. Do you have any other hobbies or like really big parts of your life besides music?
Music takes most of them, I have to say. If I had to say I had any other hobbies, I love reading. I do a ton of reading. Of course, I love movies. Movies are one of the things that used to be my big escape, was going to a movie theater.
What about beer, though?
Oh, I love beer for sure. Oh yeah, beer. That should go without. I guess that goes without saying.
But
right?
like the elephant in the room is like you've got like a whole beer thing going. You're kind of like making a whole grab in business for responsible drinking and driving.
Yeah. We I'm sure most of the folks.
It's not responsible drinking and driving. Responsible drinking and not driving.
So we and a couple buddies of mine, we went to a brewery tour in Cincinnati and had a great time. You get on this bus and they take you to 3 breweries in town, and you get to try things you wouldn't normally order. Mm-hmm. You get to see a behind the scenes kind of tour that you wouldn't normally get to see.
Yeah.
So we had a great time and thought it was fantastic. And then later on we were talking and we're like, who has better beer than the places we went to? Lexington. We have a ton of craft breweries.
Blue.
That's right. So, and Lexington didn't have that. So we thought, why not jump in on that, and combine our passion for beer and local businesses and go that route. So we opened Lexington on Tap, which is a brewery tour business and also does private transportation to distilleries and all of those kind of things. So
he's a roofer, but I felt it was worth mentioning because A, local businesses are huge, and he has 2, and also I do not believe in drinking and driving. It is super dangerous. There are way too many options out there to avoid doing that. And also, like, who doesn't love beer in Lexington or really Kentucky in general? That scene has really started to take off in a way that I never expected, especially as a Michigander where we're kind of spoiled with beer. So for sure, it's not about Lex on Tap, but I felt like I had to at least plug it a little bit because I think what you're doing is like super important safety wise, but it's also super delicious because beer here is delicious. So the last thing I would like for you to share with everyone is like two really common problems that people can avoid, or one common problem and something that people should always do as far as roofs are concerned. Just like 2 super helpful things for homeowners or even people who are renting that just like to keep an eye on where they live and want to stay on top of where they live.
Well, what I would encourage everyone to do, and I think is the easiest way, is once your roof reaches a certain age, after any big storms that we have a good, trusted, qualified roofer come out and inspect your roof. That's going to keep it's going to do a couple of things. It's going to keep you ahead of the game as far as any issues that may be coming up maintenance-wise, because you'll get someone on your roof. Yeah. Okay. You'll be able to spot it out maybe before it starts making its way inside the house.
Gotcha.
So I like that one most of all because it does, again, it keeps you on top of maintenance. Somebody can see something before it becomes a problem inside, and you can take care of it. Also, after those storms, if there's any damage that's done, a lot of times you won't know that for years. And there are claim periods on insurance policies, so you only have a certain amount of time from the date something happens to actually file.
Like a statute of limitations. Dang, that's real messed up. Insurance really gets us.
Oh yeah.
I've always got a lot of questions for those folks. I mean, I know that they're good people, but the business itself, I have a lot of reservations. I mean, whether it's my car or my house, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But that's really good. So just having a good person in your back pocket for preventative stuff, keeping just regular checks on your roof.
Absolutely. Somebody you
this
trust.
Is a great guy. I trust him.
I'd be glad to help you out in any way I could, but it's important. There's a lot of, and we take a little bit different approach to our business. There's a lot of roofing companies with the storm chasing mentality out there where they're just trying to get your roof replaced.
Yeah.
They're not, that's really, and if you're not familiar with the storm chasing mentality, it's when a storm hits, these big roofers come in from out of town and they just knock doors and they try to get you to file a claim with or without seeing what's actually up there.
Sure.
So we try to do the opposite of that approach. We're local, we're going to stay local, and we want to be around for you when all your roofing needs come up, whatever house you may be in.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, that about wraps it up. I really appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
because
thanks, Stephen.
you are busy, and you know it's tough out here when it's like 95 degrees on a roof. So thank you for sitting with me. I am Stephen J.B. Davis, land specialist, residential realtor here in southeastern and central Kentucky. This is John King from Blue Line Roofing. You can find our information in the comments, all of the social media tags, and like where to find us, how to get in touch with us. I'd love for you to call me. He would love for you to call him. But if for nothing else, we hope that you got something useful out of our time together today. So until next time, peace.
See ya.